Ladies and gentlemen, we return with our second map of the very first quarter-final. We're into the playoffs and Complexity NIP. An absolute barn burner for the first one. It was separated by clutches, Poison just pulling Complexity out with the W, so they do have one in the column. A Machine, I'll be half of the voices in your head throughout this one, maybe even just 33%. I don't know how you're doing right now. I hope you're doing well. Chad Sponge Birchall, though, is hanging out with us, as well as, of course, Rushley and his Rangers on the ones, zeros, and all the other ones.
3 P250s on the T side. 2, that's becoming very common. 3, that's starting to push the friendship a little bit much here. So NIP wanted to level the playing field against the USPs, and Blame F, he's stepping up to bat.
I love me some Overpass. Enjoyed watching the Astralis Gambit battle earlier. Learned a lot about just that effective T-side map control driven denial. Talking of,
That's
Poison takes the nade straight out of the equation, fighting on Fountain. Rez is close. He knows it's a possibility. So Poison actually choosing to stick around. Spots out. Still Nork there. And he's doing that entirely on his own. Hampus taking some initiative and taking some of the site. JKS, you better keep your hands on the keyboard, young man, because Hampus is coming. Oh, duel, crucial duel, and it is traded. Plopsky, however, meets Config up close. Chances dwindle. Rez needs this frag. You can see how much he's hunting for it. Does want to take Config while he knows it's the 1v1. Pushing in, and Nork actually got a bit of a gap here. He can punish Config. Yeah, that's a free frag. One more to make it competitive, but Rush, with one click of his mouse, thrusts Rez into an unfavorable 1 versus 3.
He can pivot back. He has time to do so, but looks committed now.
Yeah, a headshot onto Blame. Could have started something, but there you have it. Complexity locking it down on the defensive pistol.
Yeah, it looked easy there for them, and I like the aggressive stance. As soon as ETR went down, whatever round NIP had in plan, that's completely disintegrated. He had the lion's share of the grenades right there, and it would have just come down to winning the fights. But being very prickly, Complexity, right? Constantly fighting, not allowing you to have space that otherwise you might traditionally earn. And this is not a great map for Complexity, if all things considered. The last time they played, they lost to Movie Star Riders. I even said it correctly. You know, that's
10 points to Gryffindor.
Yeah, so let's see if they've been able to strengthen this map in their pool. Poison's AWP looking sharp. It could be a scary affair. Now look at this kind of a buy. You can see there's plenty of smokes, plenty of flashes, just the waiting game in the early stages. NIP, when we covered them, even with Twist still in the roster, this was late last year, coming into the early stages of this year as well, on Overpass, always very thorough, especially when they're taking that A bomb site. Would always love to get control of the site itself, maybe even weasel their way into bank, deny those CT rotations, make things as awkward as possible. Right here, right now, just posturing across the map, using those deagles at range, and now they're pivoting back towards the B bomb site. They have a bunch of smokes to work with here, so there's a few executes that we could see. There's a smoke towards Heaven. I think that one will be essential.
Yeah, they got 4 of them, dude. They'll probably maybe even try and bait something out of the CTs early. Let's see. So they're double walking in, clearing out short.
Config just rotated A as well, so this is quite weak over towards B at this juncture.
Yeah, and if they have that element of surprise, if this first Eagle frag is swiftly followed by either a plant or a second frag, this is where NIP's second round becomes very viable. So they're walking in now, and I think JKS is going to start getting a little bit concerned about Monster. The flash, however, does seem destined for a find. He's going to lose his vision. It's through, stands and delivers. At least one on the UMP. A second now onto the USP. Stands his ground and delivers the double. Now to deny it, smoke should lock Rush out.
Shallow.
Oh, it's too shallow. Way too shallow, and he realizes that should be an easy denial. There goes NIP's hopes and dreams. They do well to find 3 actually on those deagles, all things considered.
Yeah, they were flustered on that retake there, Complexity, right? They're just wanting to get on in as soon as JKS calls the bomb, calls lots of bodies through Monster there. Not ready for the deagles posted up. But because there was no plant, this is where we should see NIP take a bit of a save. At least just the partial upgrade to the pistols, not too much more than that. It's a great little double here out of JKS. Now, just a bit of history, JKS. Not a lot of success or a lot of playtime on Overpass, right? You're seeing him on a map like this, and it takes a while. It does take a while to acclimatize. He doesn't have too many officials on this whatsoever.
DTR doesn't know, but Blame spotted his cross to playground and will be readying himself for war in that respect. Heads to long.
Look how confident Config is that this is going to be an eco round as well, right? He's just got that P250 in hand. It started very forced buy for NIP in map number 1. Surprising they thought it wouldn't continue here.
But yeah, just going to be NIP playing for the long game. Going to be seeing Proceedings continue as expected. Rez just a Desert Eagle, which he can look to ply with a Deagle headshot into Poison. That is a good start. Any more rifles you can stop being taken into the next is a dream. Looks like Config's going to make his goal to recover what Poison had. They flashed themselves. Doesn't bode too well. Hampus hunted, Blame gets it, but Rez there to continue to make this hurt. Just $700, and he's put 2 rifles on the ground. They can't afford to lose another now. And Config's P250 perfectly finding the headshot necessary. He won't be able to recover it, or rather, when I say he, Rush won't be able to recover the Poison rifle. So that is quite a costly one, considering how little was invested from the Ninjas squad.
Yeah, Rush has just dropped an AWP for Poison here, and he's going to hold on to that MP9. So the way that he's playing this B bomb site, not too many dramas. This is some good shooting out of Poison, being impressed by his rifling. NIP have a very similar looking buy here. They've got themselves 4 AKs out, Nork onto the AWP, and he was hitting some good shots. So we get the AWP battle on the first gun round, round number 4, and we get it underway.
Peak very quick from Poison, but there's a timer on that, and yeah, he'll back away. Oh, Willie, he actually late walk into the fountain line. Trust the util. It's a great flash to stop the AWPer from having a look. And it seems NIP have crossed 4 through this playground position. Oh, this is brave. ZTR, however, the power of the lurk, just being a little further behind the pack, catches that hunt from Poison. It could have gone very, very awry had he pushed that.
Yeah, I think if they're going that forward, they were either hedging on some form of a tendency, some counter strat, or they were hoping to unravel them so they can't go for a full 5-man execute. Now we have dire straits for Complexity here as they're forced to rotate around, and they're gambling on an A finish. JKS and Rush are now making their way up the stairs. But meanwhile, Hampus and co, they've taken the bomb back towards B, and yeah, well, they rotate back as well. So back and forth we go, and the right decision has been found, but 50 seconds left on the clock. If Rez gets into A for free, maybe they'll pivot back once more.
Yeah, this is looking like it's going to be Rez to be the first to take contact, right? Despite their 4 monster. I don't know what... I think it's going to have to be a flank and a finish B.
There's still time to fall back from ZTR, though.
Rez is calling the site clear. They have to commit. Oh, Rush, he hears it. He confirms it. And tucked in such a good position. Rush, timing. It's everything. 1.5. May not be enough. Complexity ready to batten down the hatches.
They're still coming.
Double setup on short. And from heaven, he should have a sitting first. There goes 1. And on short they stand. Chances dwindle. The boost could be everything, and it does put the bomb loose. That's going to get really awkward. They have to be planting now, and he's open. Rez from heaven to defend. That was the chance. Config lays it all out in the open. A wide swing and a spray to try and knock him off the bomb. It could have been the round winner. JKS would have only had to survive, but instead now he just presented a 1v3 and a smoked off site. Doesn't seem too scary, but there goes Nork, a blind one straight through. And now a smoke of his own design to close the gap onto the site. The spray's not far off either. Hampus hanging around the pillar. Time unfortunately shaved down as the incendiary does pop, just completely not removing any likelihood of JKS closing this gap. He'd love to stop that AWP from being saved, and you can hear it leaving. Can he get it? Yes, he can. No AWP for you. But round all the same. NIP will take that one. Rez a big part of that.
Oh, he's going to get there in time. It's going to be close.
Oh, didn't get it.
Needed some go-go gadget arms there to pick that one up, but that's 3-1. And, well, with so many players going down, this buy for NIP is going to have to be Rez dropping a rifle across.
They even flashed. I didn't even realize. Like, I know Config was going for the Hail Mary round winner, but they even had the flash perfectly in position. Just couldn't get it on that wall bang.
Rush did great there to slow them down as well. So all in all, NIP sticking to their guns. I guess the reason that Rez has found that much room, maybe they're scared about someone pushing past him at long, or maybe one of those little details being slipped. But back with a bit more pace here, quickly over towards B. Sewers, smoke extinguished. Rez taking space and looking like a fight is on the cards. 4 players in B right now for Complexity. So if this is quick, they got their players in the right place.
Here they go, off the flash, straight in, and the Deagle is in prime position for a multi-kill. Rush has got him too. JKS as well. And just like that, NIP tried to change up the pace, but they get led in the face. Just Plopsky alone, disconnected from the bomb and wondering where it all went wrong.
I think the thing is with the Galil right now, there's... I don't want to say no point saving it. Of course, there's a point to save it. It's better than what he's going to have in the next round, but he may as well have a look to see if he can get a couple of kills. Try and keep Complexity's economy honest. It does look like he's having a look in here. Has so much time to bleed off the clock. Even play around that smoke. Footsteps are being heard. Noisy stuff from Cole on the site. And Plopski's just going to be patient here. That smoke fade in about 10.
You've got 45 seconds, Chad, to think of your answer. The logo on his Galil just reminded me of it, but X-Men, are you familiar?
Yes.
Okay, what would your dream mutation be?
Oh.
We'll be back in 30. Plopski does find his first, but at great cost. 10 HP, that's surely going to be enough for him to just dream of keeping the spray from Blame. Nearly actually finished the job, but it does look like Plopski's just about managed to get away and Scarpa. Like, of the existing pool.
So I have to pick. But the thing is, I don't know all of the X-Men.
No, that's true. Yeah.
I only know the popular ones.
I did think the whole, like, you know, before Wolverine was all, you know, pumped full of adamantium and
that was
by
pretty
the
cool.
Megacorp, I did like the idea of just being unbreakable.
I think the thing is, if you look at all of the X-Men, that they all have something with them that is quite horrific. Like Rogue, for example, she can't touch anybody.
Oh yeah, you definitely have to have some sort of life lesson pumped into each story.
Cyclops can never look at anything with his actual eyes.
Yeah, you can't make eye contact with anyone without leaving like a steaming pile of flesh.
I always liked Gambit, the guy that threw the cards, but it's not really that cool. Like, they're just
He's kinda
explosive
cool.
cards. I want something a bit cooler.
I liked the... Actually, no, can the big blue hairy man turn into a normal man?
Beast? No, he can't.
He's always a blue man.
He's like that forever, yeah.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind being able to toggle my blue man skills.
Like the Hulk.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah.
He's not that cool either.
No.
But this is what we were seeing out of NIP in map number 1, right? This force by style play on the T side, and they really did keep it level. But it's a bit harder to convert on a map like Overpass. Especially now that Complexity have stabilized. They've got 5 rifles, AK-47s to boot.
To be fair, when I go home to Malta, I'd be Storm, just to guarantee those sunny days upon my arrival.
That's not a bad shout, being able to control the weather.
Oh.
You gotta be happy with that one.
Quality of life improvement. And you didn't really have that much of a harrowing backstory, he says, waiting for the nerds to correct me.
I'm pretty sure there was some horrific stuff that happened in their homeland.
Oh, damn. Okay, well, everyone's got the backstory. We are ready to get the Counter-Strike back underway with this AK and a lot of early damage. They've been peppered. Smattering of 50 damage distributed towards Plopski.
I don't mind them continuing to test this B bomb site, but every time Complexity have transitioned mid to late round into this setup, they've given up Monster and they're securing Sewer. So no hijinks through Connector with this type of a play.
This worked for them last time. Admittedly, Rush finding early damage, and he's trying to set himself up for that passive line again. 2 are ahead of the pack. This is such a hard B hold. JKS, he's uncomfortable here. Does manage to knock the bomb down. 1 HP, he wins his duel. Blame's there in support. They really want JKS, but he's enough of a distraction to enable another. Somehow, some way, another headshot from JKS in the feed, and he lives to tell his tale into the 7th. That is Cole, 5 to NIP's 1.
Very difficult stuff to really walk away with here, because Complexity, they're doing this for a reason. Now, I'm going to assume because of how prep heavy they are, this is going to be some form of a counter strat. We were talking a lot about Gambit, a team who likes locking down Monster. What's happening here is the opposite. They're taking short and sewer control, allowing you through Monster, so the rotation of Config, Blame can take those fights.
But, I mean, I think, you know, in the general rule book of Counter-Strike, giving people Monster is a bad idea because the duels are so favorable to the Ts. You know, you can crouch out, you have no idea where they're peeking from, and you saw how Blame was holding that, right? He's got 2 short. He's got a lot of very weird duels to be taking. I suppose he's got to have this awareness of when they're crossing past your short hold, right?
In that 90-degree, right?
That's when he wants to be taking contact.
So almost baiting his teammates in there to set them up for that cool crossfire. But some fist bumps coming out from NIP here. Threat just got out of his chair, so needing to fire the boys up because these best of 3s, they can fly by, especially when you 1 map down. Your own map choice, you've done the prep, you've done the homework, you picked this for a reason. They will be back down to pistols.
I'm very interested to know why ZTR's gone back for additional util. So there was a reason he wanted an extra smoke and 2 flashes. If they can make this deagle round work, they are straight back into contention. They've pulled one out of that bag in Mirage. I think Blame's going to think better of that. Doesn't want to give anything away for free. Make them work for it in a round that already favors you heavily economically. Like Hampus is yet to frag, and he was so sensational on Mirage with some of his mid finds. Config is playing with fire, and Hampus did get given a quick check from the CTs on that short fight. Everyone still lives though. 10 players alive in a server for round 7, and they start their advance towards toilets. We haven't seen too much of this side of the map just yet from the NIPT side, and it's going to be a crucial element.
Yeah, lots of space to work with, right? They can have bathrooms, controllers. I say that Blame postures forward. And this smoke with the flashes, They could do just standard smokes and just try and get the bomb down on the site. They get 3,400 next round anyway.
What do you consider standard smokes? Like
CT and bank.
Yeah.
It's still very difficult. Lots of angles to get past.
And ABC.
Yeah, you need 3 if you want to do the full front of site set smokes. They've also just limped one out towards long, and there's a massive gap in it.
What are those? That's what I feel like the camera's doing when it zooms in on a gap in the smoke. Here they go. Okay, smokes are out, but Blame is there. They've got their CTs in the right place to receive a big deagle. One more is all they require, but the spray from Blame. He massacres 4. 3.5 as Config snatches one of them, but that was a big M4 spray down. Yes, he is your impact player. And NIP are once again back to the drawing board. You said already these can kind of slip away from you. These rounds, definitely not the crucial components from NIP's T playbook, but they are going to be looking to put one on the board now. Otherwise, when you're already staring down 7, 8, this lead can get away from you, and before you know it, the series concludes.
They're still in touching distance of breaking the majority of the Complexity players' money here. So a round from NIP can turn this scoreline around quickly, but they need to get something going. And Poison completely blind. If you just pulled the trigger there, that was a kill. Nade on through. Good chip damage. Now Hampus looking for a frag.
He's trying to capture timing here, and
he has one.
A lot of his gaming does hinge on that. He's ahead of the smoke. This is huge from Hampus. There is a huge gap in the defense.
No one's looking at all.
JKS, he'll have a quick look, and now his suspicions are confirmed, and that's enough to at least get the CTs on notice. 2, make it 3. Aggressing. Oh, Rush, ready. And Hampus meets his M4. Early first frag now for the CTs, and they're walking into Poison's domain here.
This is rough.
Oh, he's not ready at all, dude. He's still playing anti-flash. He's a dead man walking. Poison, how fast are your flicks, bro?
Oh, no!
He actually gets one. Shouldn't have ever been in the realms of possibility. Maybe even a second now as ETR around the corner does bait the shot. That was exactly what he needed. Okay, the round continues. A little red face and a very quick wrist from Poison. Now Blame swung on, will go down. ETR providing all of the crucial frags. Nork, Optimus, he heard that. The nade could soften him up for this flank. Config's very quick on it, needs to control the taps and does so. Nork to clutch. Nade on his nose. Slight gap, but crossing nonetheless. And now the Config frag comes in. It's just JKS, even more damage dealt to him. His head's been spotted. He's going for the no-scope. He's going for the no-scope, but JKS prevails. And just in the nick of time, Complexity snatch away the 1v1.
That was so dicey. I have no idea what Rez would have seen. Does he come around the corner with a nade? I don't know how he doesn't see Poison for days there.
Their POV would have been really interesting. I wonder if they just completely weren't pre-aiming it, expecting it, and it was blind.
But you're right, it was still so late, right? The fact that he was up there at that juncture of the round, that was so awkward. So Poison, how? Like, Rez should have had him dead to rights in a situation like that. Oh dear, that is a look. We obviously didn't catch his POV. It's hard to speculate, but that felt like it should have been a kill, at least a kill for NIP getting onto that site.
Well, Poison's making a habit out of that, hitting shots we don't think he should be able to hit.
Yeah, some ridiculous scenes out of the AWP so far from Complexity. 7-1, that scoreline has been reached. The plan has facilitated another buy, and away we go.
Ooh, that couldn't have been better. Nork, bit of a magnet for this one. A nade perfectly chips him down to 50. So you can see that the Complexity have set something up on B, a bit of a trap to spring, boosts, flashes galore. I think that's enough of that.
And Sewell was completely called clear off of that, right? He waited until there was a timing on the flash and peaked, and now they can actually heavy rotate back towards this A bomb site if they like. Lots of indications, flashes, nades, maybe even some footsteps being heard now. As 3 players have just gotten to the top of the A bomb site for Complexity to fortify this defense, and another boost.
Oh, and Poison could be set for success here. He'd be able to peek into toilets off that as well. And they are walking that way. Poison falls off the boost, and a great timing on his incendiary. Config actually wants to choose to play next to the smoke. That's a T-smoke they've dropped, and their setup seems very imposing. CTR is actually Rez to meet the AWP. Config now has the element of surprise. If they run past him, he's in a dreamland. They're not checking him. Config has so many on his plate here. He just has to convert, waiting for the last one. Doesn't expect him, and Nork arrives in time. Bomb to be planted. Nade could finish off the job. Nork already caught one, but it's not in the right place. Instead, bomb down. Rush from Bank. JKS has an incendiary to force this fight out, and instead it's Nork falling to that AUG. if they double up in bank, the trade from JKS is crucial, and it doesn't even matter. Rush will win the round right there and then. Just like that, the American, 2 crucial frags, and even an AWP for good measure.
Oh, and now they're starting to build a CT-sided economy here. Some clean rounds. Still have to keep it a little bit cleaner than that. But you've got 7.3 on config, you've got 6.2 on that of Poison. They can get that AWP dropped across, so things will be looking good. But here's the first onto Nork, and the second. Great awareness, ready for it. Hampus goes on down that AWP close range. Looks beautiful. And this one is running away from the Ninjas here. Again, another plant. Again, another close round. And again, another investment. But it's a tactical timeout to talk through their options. Now, towards B bomb site, there are these 4-man B lanes to deal with early. So if they try and go fast B, they're running into a wall. Poison clearly wants to stay aggressive across this A position, right? Reinitiating from the site, being aggressive, looking for picks. Has even been found out a couple times, but hasn't really stopped Complexity too much here. Fist bumps are out again. Really trying to get that morale up. Can be hard with a younger crew.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, when your internalized processing of the game isn't shared and everyone just starts falling into their own little pits and troughs, it can be a silent but deadly curse that can plague many a team, especially those a little newer to the scene. Blame, aggressive, actually fancies his chances. I wonder if he's sticking around. By staring at the floor, it's indicative that he will. So this is a complete isolated, aggressive maneuver. I say isolated, I suppose Poison is in support, but it's not going to be a guaranteed trade by any stretch of the imagination. Give it a go. He's got full util on him. This is a very brave and brazen move to be taking. Perhaps the advantage speaking volumes of this. They're run boosting long. Blame hears it. Shadow indicates Rez is a sitting duck and contemplates the trigger discipline, but Blame will get a freebie and continues to make them work for it. He knows the swing was coming straight through the smoke. ZTR catches the trade.
Yeah, there's no way out there for Blame. You can see the push coming up through Connector, had to reposition. Tries to make the best of a bad situation, but now it's a 4-on-4. Minute left on the clock and not a lot of utility for NIP for an execute. They need to find kills and they need to find them fast.
Don't see that angle held all too often. I guess a virtue of config being pushed up. He's just pre-aiming that jump peak.
This one's going to stall out for NIP. They're waiting for more CT aggressive maneuvers. As I mentioned, utility is not great. 1 smoke, 2 flashes, and a Molotov. They need to hope that they can pull a lot out of this. And there's still 3 players up towards A. Oh, look at that nade.
What a fantastic nade. They've got a read on this. JKS slinks behind enemy lines. It's only going to be good for 1. Config actually catches the bullet from Nork. It's now down to a 2v2. And Nork is all alone now. Poison pulling the trigger successfully. Aggressive, needs the AWP frag, tries to bait the shot as best he can. Poison's not giving it to him. He's showing that restraint, and it enables a third. Poison 2 rounds won exclusively off the back of his big zoom banger.
We're identifying so many things of how Complexity want to approach this CT side. Late rounds when the smokes are dropped over towards A, they're always pushing up. They're reinitiating on that side of the map. And the same deal over towards B. You've had Rush and JKS in multiple occasions take back B territory towards sewer. So punishing NIP when they're evacuating space across the map here, and this is some great shots yet again. The second one, beautiful, a necessary second, and yeah, there's that shadow advantage every day of the week. Back to the pistols, NIP.
It's running away from them now, Chad.
Yeah, 9-1. If we get to the double digits for Complexity, which is looking very likely, warning bells starting to sound.
Hampus is up. Give him some odds finding that Deagle headshot. Nade to the head instead. Plopsky, ooh, he did have an angle. Trying to force Blame into these exchanges. And Blame sticking around, costs him his life, and the M4 now falling into enemy hands. Not even an M4, excuse me, an AK-47 for Plopsky to ply his trade. He'll actually smoke Poison off the cross. That's good denial of info, and it should enable them to at least keep the CT's feet planted on that A site. They won't have the answers unless they push for them.
It pulled a heavy rotation. Lots of utility being used on A now as Config and Rush are up there. Just JKS towards this B bomb site, and he's setting up in a retake situation. So they're almost gifting the B bomb site here. JKS is getting even more passive.
Power of a single frag on that T side. They're coming in, and JKS can't handle the new AK that Plopsky's working with just the Deagle Kevlar.
Should be a save call. They can't go into this. Look at the cash. They haven't been able to keep their head above water. Complexity. Sure, the rounds look great, but the money not. And they're going to have to slink on back, drop on back, and get out of this. And the hunt's coming through. Nork's even getting boosted. Poison needs to be very careful here.
Yeah, he's playing with fire. Don't want to lose that AWP, and I think he realizes it's not worth the exchange.
This could definitely start NIP's T-sided haul, right? The fact that now they're almost taking control of this economy. Guns will have to be dropped across for complexity, and I don't know if they're going to have enough cash to get exactly what they want. The hunt is still coming. Anything else for NIP here is fantastic. A few seconds left on this, and Poison, he's missed the shot. He's lost the AWP.
And Rush won't be able to recover it either. Hamper, some huge impact to be found.
Oh.
And they even snatched the AWP.
Look at those smooth
Oh,
moves.
it couldn't get any better for the Swedes. What a round to completely switch the dialogue. Now Ninjas in Pyjamas becomes a conversation topic, because look what that's done to complexity. You said they hadn't been able to keep their grip on the economy. Losing an M4 and an AWP in these closing hunt. Oh, it's dream scenarios for Ninjas.
Yeah, it's enough that their money's already on knife's edge in the gun rounds, but to lose to just the upgraded Deagles, that is a rough one, a bitter pill to swallow right there. And yeah, timeout taken off the back of it, because there's a lot to discuss, right? When your loss bonus at this point of the game is only 1,400, most people were going to be force buying, and that's exactly what we see here. They're getting a couple of Famases out in the mix. There's that M4 save from Config. Utility's kind of there. Poison will probably invest into a scout, but they're going to be operating with very, very little. And now that NIP have been able to establish, they have all the guns out, they have all the utility. This is their chance to potentially close the gap, get themselves what could look like a 9-6 half very, very quickly. Important rounds here.
Yeah, this is it. I mean, I don't know if you want to be begging Config for one of his high-impact early frags, whether he's got a maneuver in his bag, but he's the only one with the M4. It would be a dream for Cole to be able to play around an early man advantage. Poison's looking for one. And they're already across. Toilets to be smoked out by Rez, I imagine. Nice late nade. It will chip away and actually put Rez within that one-shot scout range. A lot of players like to do this, just posture when they know they have a financial advantage up on short, and anyone that dares to challenge has to beat out the M4.
Well, they've gotten the space they were looking for, NIP. Over towards B is secured. They've even forced out some early smokes. There's another monster smoke coming on in. Might be a different look from the B defense this time round, as repositioning towards long. NIP, with a minute on the clock, have 4 players.
Yo, you can see how Poison just darted into toilets. He's managed to take a lot back of that map control back, answer a lot of their unanswered questions, and it may lean the CTs in anticipation of long. Jump peek. Nork will confirm the AWP is there, the suspicions are raised, and, well, 3 CTs to receive them. It's not a dream buy. Poison under so much pressure. Ahead of it, Rez into the site, some damage, but it's all good. Ninjas with 2 into the site. One from Blame, unchecked. Another is provided. And they actually second-guessed the plant. That will provide just a little bit more time for Rush and JKS to pull up their socks. It's never fun to be rotating up those stairs, hearing that bomb plant sound. And their chances really do hinge on the next 10 seconds. If they find one, kit's recovered, as is the FAMAS. Nork. Oh, he actually has been caught, and ZTR is damn low. Hampus, however, can find them. Look at the damage. Oof. By a Nat's wing, they get away with that one. 6 HP on one, 2 on the other. NIP, though, they've converted, and that was it. That was the big test. This makes a half out of what looked like a complexity overpass.
Yeah, this is going to be the eco, and it needs to be a full eco out of complexity to have anything going forward with the buys. 4th round looking very, very likely here, as Config will be into a Deagle. Blame's upgraded as well. There's a P250 for Poison and USPs for JKS and Rush. So all in all, this should be a nip round every day of the week. Chance to stabilize before getting into the second half. The defense of their map pick here. Yeah, maybe not the easiest play to get past it long. Config's so close, right? If they do pivot long again, bullets to the belly from this range with the USPs to help and just soften up if needed. So JKS the bait behind the tree, hoping to draw them on in here. Who blinks first?
Oh, keen as can be. Those are the frags to just add to the satisfaction that this game can provide, and he's still very paranoid about long, rightfully so. There's the conversion of that paranoia. He will fall, and the M4 will fall into enemy hands, but he's on an island because He's bought all the time for the bomb plant to come in. Nork doesn't have to get too stressed about this one. JKS recovers his howl.
Yeah, they need to hold on to this still, right? When you're looking at the loss bonus situation, 2,400 into the next round, going to still be very light on. And that's where I question if we will see a buy out of Complexity, which does sound strange after this type of an eco. Dropping guns, trading places, seeing if JKS can go find them another rifle. They do need it. He's going to go down to the AWP any second now. Bullet from Nork. A little bit shy, but the second one's good. And now it will just be Rush holding on to this. Lower HP, that's why they changed it all out. But Hampus is still hunting. And look, he got off to a rougher start of things, Hampus, but coming alive now in the later stages. Rush is here in the steps, trying to hide. And is he going to get away with it?
No! Ew, Chuck Tester.
That's a couple times. Hampus as well, like denying that or picking up that AWP at long as well. So has been great in these hunts, and Complexity will buy. And the reason I was curious is because if you look where the money's at, they're not operating with enough to get the M4s with all the utility they need. There's a Famous for config coming out. I don't even think we'll see a defuse kit here unless JKS buys one. Yeah, not to be. So not a great buy and not perfect for the tail end. This all started with BlameF dying and connected to Plopsky's
Dude,
Deagle.
this is the most stereotypical. Do you remember last season, season 12, where we had every game, they get off to a 9 start, like 8, 9 on the CT side, get broken, and then have okay buys that are beaten up by the fully bought up Ts? From max loss bonus to max win bonus, they are slaying. Into the fast B now. They have got the pieces in the right place here, and JKS, no slouch. The spray only allowed to 1. Rush stands and does deliver. Plopsky's there on the barrels, needs to adjust quickly and has. Rush has done enough. Rez is low. Nork's on the site as well. If he could just find one more. Smoke onto the bomb, and he plans to incendiary it just at the right time. It should stop the retrieval and make this round a guarantee, which it is. Complexity, no need for all the nades when the bullets and the fights come so quick.
Yeah, almost a dream, right? When you don't have too many nades and you don't want to play that late game, pushing each other around the map, getting naded, not being able to re-pick, they just run at him. So NIP, in a way, helping out Complexity for their 10th round. The double digits have now hit the board. This was great from Rush.
And you can see his reaction. When that smoke was deployed, it could have got really weird. Nork's like underhanded the smoke on the bomb. They maybe want to retreat, cut noise, and he completely denies all possibilities. And now, well, that's a dream for Complexity. They get to equip themselves with everything that they were missing in our 14th. And Blame, what are you up to? Slinking into the fountain position. And looking for support in Poison. He'll hold this playground backside, which means he can actually hold this angle aggressively.
Awkward angle.
Very uncomfortable for the T's. Rez ready. And quick from Poison to make sure that things don't go awry. He shuts it down before they do spur into this toilet's control. And now they know that there's an AWP around. Do you use your util? Do you wanna?
Yeah, slow stuff again here from NIP after that exchange, but Nork wants to pick, he wants to fight. They definitely need to start clawing back some territory here. Poison up close in the bathrooms. We'll be having a free run along here, so all the attention...
Oh, config! He actually gets 3 on the spray. Masterfully controlled. And Poison will wrap it all up. That's 11. Complexity stabilized after a bit of a mid-half wobble. Let's see if NIP have got enough to push us to 3.
till you're on mission. We are many of one. We're coming home with a mission.
11 certainly sounds good for Complexity. They're on their way to a semi-final should they convert. This is the quarters of ESL Pro League Season 13. The year is 2021. We've all been locked inside for well over a year now, and we're all getting a bit weird. I hope you're well. Chad Sponge Birchall is an Australian who's been living on European soil for far too long than he'd care to admit. And we are into our half pistol. It's going to be Complexity now on the T side. 1xBet sincerely believes Cole will pull this over the line.
That is blown out.
It has. It was always an edge to Cole, but not by that margin. Fair play, 1xBet. Let's get this in a boost set up, and it's going to be completely flashed off. No one checks barrels, and Hampus profits. It's only 2. Plopsky, however, quick to the trigger on the second, and now it does come down to these final few bits.
Oh, not like
Great
this.
Shooting from Blame. Perhaps it is like this. He's been handed a 1 versus 2. The loss of Config still very recent. He knows they'll look for info. Now, just juking it out. One of them is closing the gap, and that's confirmed now. It's a good shot from ZTR, or rather onto ZTR, confirms that there's one pushed up towards this box position. Now, it's no fun for Blame. The fact that the bomb lost just out of his retrieval range, that's why ZTR was so ready and willing to push up. Now, he could still be Monster, and that's what ZTR is pre-aiming, but there should be a timer on this where they consider that short position.
He hasn't reloaded, only 8 bullets for this.
Oh, and
Oh,
if
they're both tucked in.
Peek him, that's so well played by the Swedes. You're never going to get them both. Maybe even not one. No armor. Body shots are enough. Well defended in the end. After Hampus's heroics, like you don't get the luxury of not being checked on barrels all too often.
Yeah, so you need to get a couple, and he did exactly that. But one of the keys here is denying this plant. The fact that the bomb hasn't gone down is exactly what NIP need. They can start building here if they can deal with the force buyer Complexity coming out the gates. And this is not as scary as a force buyer as it would have been if the plant went down. AKs could have been dropped across. They have been looking a lot juicier than a scout with 4 deagles around it, but still needing to hold on NIP. They need to show a bit of resilience in this one. Backs are against the wall.
Yeah, let's see a clean one. Has to be. You've got your MP9s, the bonus into the next if you can keep everybody's heart beating.
It really has to be, though. These guys came first in their group, and now in the playoffs are sitting 5 rounds away from not winning a single map.
Yeah.
Right, that's not the showing in the playoffs. It doesn't even matter you came first in the group if you just get booted out.
Look at the comparison to Heroic, who did exactly the same. Didn't drop a game in their group and then proceeded to, well, continue to play that
Still undefeated.
brilliant style of Counter-Strike against NIP. So Rush has already made it costly. And Config. Oh dear, what a reaction onto Rez. Caught off guard, but still finds the head. And we said it had to be clean. Now Hampus just hoping he can get it done dirty. He has been tagged. A good frag in response. Okay, this is getting uncomfortable for both squads now. And he's actually choosing to push the issue, which is JKS's dream. He's got the headshot. That's the AUG as well now within reach. Only MP9s now for these boys. They were supposed to be just cogs in the machine. Now they have to be the entire unit. And they're both on Optimus, grouped up. It does seem to be the right place. One falls out. CTR's there, and a crucial frag. He's delivered it. Now with 30 seconds, he can just rot the clock a little bit. They are going to have to go hunting. Giving them just enough space to get that bomb down. There won't be a way to contest if they plant front dice. Config caught as it fades. And now Blame's in trouble. Does have a chance onto Plopsky. The swing is in. ZTR saves NIP, and frustrations mount for Complexity.
Oh, another round there. Real close scenes. Getting it down to the 1v1 this time round. Blame, and the Deagle was even in the right place.
I mean,
able to pull the trigger.
I don't know which frag you think decided it. Maybe Config getting nutmegged there, but I can't help but feel that ZTR pulling one out of the bag when on that Optimus position. And a quick trade from him as well.
Well, considering it's like a laser beam, right? As soon as JKS picked, there was like 5 bullets coming out, and he's dead. So that was a big shot to hit, and a necessary one as the scoreline 11-6. They'll retrieve the AUG.
Rush is very animated, isn't he?
Yeah, he's always having a good time. But it's just a light pistol investment again, so no plant, can't stay as threatening as they want. Don't want to continue the force by wars with a lead like this, but you can see just how quickly an 11-4 half can turn a lot closer. That nade on through. Ouchie mama. Config down to 52.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's a bit like that.
Yeah, that's the sound I always kind of make internally as I'm sitting in underpass down to 50 from a nade.
But normally if it was us, what would happen is we'd get naded, then we'd swing open door right into the guy who just naded us, not expecting him to be looking at us, and we'd be dead.
Yeah,
because we don't understand how to play slowly.
No, not at all. I just don't have the patience for this game. You know, like, so even these players don't have the patience sometimes, and they're on ridiculous salaries.
Yeah, well, sometimes that itchy trigger finger.
You just want it. You just want it. And sometimes just biding your time is enough.
Hello.
Poison, a freebie for Rez's MP9, and he wants more. That's another 600 bucks around the corner. Fancies it and gets it. $1,200 for his hard work into this one, and round 18 is
Done.
done.
Oh, all right. Well, you got a nice one.
I win. 10 points to Ravenclaw.
Mr. Richardson.
Thank you.
Okay, now we can get underway with the big kid rounds. Won't be an AWP in play for Poison here. And only one SMG carried across on Plopsky. The rest have been able to upgrade into rifles. Nork will still be on that scout.
Wow, I mean, this just turned an 11-4 half into a competitive second map of our quarterfinal.
Yeah, and you wonder what the scoreline could have looked like if Plopsky didn't have that round with the Deagle, right? Taking down Blame, they're getting the kill on JKS on the side. It could have been a complete shutout, really, as Poison tagged down immediately. That nade is looking great.
Actually, it does half Config's functional health pool. Brutal start for the Cold TAK round. This is there's a lot riding on this one.
Just have to blow and Poison will fall over right now. So almost a kill and a half from Nork out the gate. They will get long control. Party taken 2. Connector still a little bit of a worry. But just operating with the low HP right now, it's going to put pressure on some of the other players to find entries. JKS and Blame usually third to fourth. Usually, well, let's be honest, last in, if we're going to stop mincing words. So that means Rush is going to have to get stuck into this one with Config and Poison. And they're just combing through the map right here. Nobody over towards B whatsoever, setting up for an A finish, and Rez wants a fight.
Oh, and actually in the Fading Flames, a chance was given. Poison unable to convert it.
This one might just peter out. The T side for Complexity is going to be very worrying.
Yeah, this is a cause for concern already. I mean, bear in mind, NIP, this is their pick, and their CT side will be rigid. So unless they find their way into the site now, it seems too easy for Nork. He tries to transfer to no avail. A man advantage as that bomb likely to go down. No one can contest immediately. They do have that man advantage though, and they want to try and press the issue just a little on this plant. Rez has only got a scout. Config. Oh! Caught just as he tried to rack closer. Extends the advantage, and with a scout no less. Rez finds the scalp, Rush isn't ready for this, and it's just falling apart for Complexity. Blame. He's got to deal with so many targets. He's just going to get overrun, and another successful retake from the Swedes.
Yeah, easy stuff there, and that was the
How
first
much did he
real
see
test.
on that?
It must have just gone from being light to dark, right? And we already knew that Config was already tagged up early in the piece from that nade, so
But I mean,
yikes. Config's just asked, killed me through trash can, question mark.
yeah, I think that's fair. Like, what are you...
Yeah, see the...
Oh, the
time.
time. No, you see his white body just crossing. That was what our cameraman was doing again.
Okay.
Smart. Smarter than us.
All right, well, Complexity will be able to buy. The AK's back out. AWP this time for Nork, so no baby AWP. Pie's looking even better for NIP. 3 AKs picked on up. Utility great. This is going to be difficult for Colin. It looks like they're going all in towards B in the early stages.
Wow, a lot hinges on this. JKS is being tested. Plopsky flashed in. The bullets indicative of presence. And he is in a prime position to punish, unloads his mag, and nothing to report. Nade is high, could find more damage. Gosh, JKS Config working on just scraps. Nork re-aggressing. He actually wants to deny short, and that could be threatening. Everyone's completely fallen out of that side of the map, though.
They fall back into a default. This is great from Complexity because a lot of utility will be used from NIP here just to get info. With Nork postured forward, has a support network to help him swing, and yeah, it's going into a default spread at about 1 minute TED, so clawing back real estate they might have had earlier. Need to be
This is scary
careful
stuff,
about some picks. Yeah, you don't know where the pushes have come on in. You don't know how much has been taken. We can see just this man, Rez.
Rush is holding him.
Oh!
An important frag. That was the headshot that could very well put 12 on the board for Complexity. Their
Pyjamas has
retakes
to fight.
have been good, and he's ahead of the util. He'd need more than one. Vision restored, and just a bit too hectic for him. Couple into the side of Poison, but this round is all Complexity. Starting on one side of the map and finishing on the other, two extremes.
And that looked a bit like Spirit-esque, right? Because everybody went together, they found a kill. Okay, let's fall back, let's go together, let's find a kill. And then they just exploded as a unit there. So that kill onto Rez, that was the go signal. Rotation from NIP was heavy over towards that B site, and Complexity will find their first here in the second half. But it's going to be labored. It's not going to be easy.
I mean, to be fair, it hasn't been easy for the CTs so far. First pistol came down to that 1v2, a 1v1 in the second round force.
Another 1v1.
Now, yeah, we do find ourselves with two AKs, or rather an AK and an AWP, two weapons preserved. And Complexity, that's going to just give them a little bit of a cushion now. You know, they were sitting on the floor, and now they've got, maybe there's a mat out.
Yeah, okay. The yoga mat, or are we just talking like
I'm thinking
a carpet?
like, you know, one of those, what do you call them? Picnic blankets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so not offering you a lot, but keeping your bottom off the dirt.
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
That's what that round has given them.
All right.
They're no longer sitting just straight up on the ground, but
Now if they can upgrade to a yoga mat, right?
that would be the next step. Maybe do some Pilates in the park.
Would need that Storm superpower to do that at the moment, I think. But NIP have invested behind these saved rifles. What's the look from Complexity early? No B presence fighting for control over towards Sewer. Just going to leave JKS to his lonesome. Front bathroom smoked off. Molotov towards Divider, and Plopsky taking a chunk of damage elsewhere. The AWP from Nork is long, so if they jump out here... Oof. Flash and fires. They know where the AWP was. And Rez is even still alive behind this smoke. Rez is in hot water here. I think that's been heard. They pivoted back. They're looking intently towards his position.
Yeah, this looks like a dead man. Rez completely unawares, dedicated to his long side.
Oh, caught in the doorway.
Get easier. Poison just flubs the movement, sitting duck for the AWP and claws it back into an even keel. Now the bomb's party. I wonder what they do with this. We're considering how heavily leaned they are towards that monster side.
Looks like it will be a B finish, right? Config's grabbed the bomb, smoked on off, going down connector here, but it's quite the setup to deal with over towards B. Here's the go.
Rains in, short's an important part.
Oh, no.
Oh dear, ZTR couldn't finish his meal, and Plopsky can't either. Oh, but the bomb, it's fallen down. It does get awkward for JKS. It's now a 1v2. Hampus with the two quick frags. And Nork's ready for him. There you have it. NIP lock him down. Two from Heaven and Graffiti, respectively.
Okay, money in question again here for Complexity.
See how this one transpired. So obviously this is Poison, as you said, just getting caught on his way out. Put the bomb loose, and Hampus just can't believe his luck. Finding two on this one. And that gets NIP once again a little louder in their HQ. It's been a very strong defense. You can see why Overpass is their map pick, and you can certainly see the slight gaps in the Complexity approach. It's
Oh, Miss Molly.
Missed Molly gives them a new bit of room to stretch their legs, and I think with the Miss Molly combined with the flashbang, they do choose to think better of their aggression towards the party position.
Those nades aren't finding anybody, right? They've thrown a couple, hasn't been doing too much damage. I think Plopsky took a little in a previous round, but all in all, not the levels they're looking for with the util.
No, far from it.
Still searching towards this A bomb side again, so really trying to make something work on this side of the map. Nork's flashed off the line. Nork's hearing these steps.
Yeah. He's going to have to be paranoid about his flank. Yeah, and he's checking it now. Poison, he's AWP'd these halls before. He knows how it works, but Nork does successfully open up the account to back to sight. That's his next battle. And Config, he's been smoked off and he hears the retreat of Nork. Tucked in now on Optimus. And held by Rez. Great setup, baited in. The power of a sound cue lulls Config into the frag. And that's two. Quick opening frags. They're going. Maybe CTR staring at the floorboards. If they lose another, Plopsky denies. A crucial spray, and 10 for the Ninjas' defense.
Oh, okay. Complexity really looking to try and punish some gaps here in the way that NIP are defending, but they're not getting away with a lot. They're finding room, but losing the kills, and then they're just limping out in these unconvincing little takes. The round where they did look good, the only round they've got is where they went as a pack. They went as a team, they were able to get some kills and then pivot from there. In this case, Nork just picking them apart, and you can see ZTR so ready for a flash to come in. That's why he's looking at the floor. There's no flash, it's just bodies. And Plopsky mops it up. I think he...
Dude, when you're starting to, play regular Tier 1 CS, you're going to have a couple of those. There's probably been a couple of overpasses so far in scrims where he's just been caught flashed.
This is really fast on the beat.
It is very quick, and it doesn't look like it's gone too well. In fact, just a quick flurry of frags. And now, well, it's only the Tech 9 of Blame. He's done very well. If he finds one more, it's a dream. Just putting those CT rifles back into the buy, making it incredibly costly.
That's the bomb too.
Fair play, Blame. You're making a round out of this. There was nothing to be said about this one. They throw their bodies into the M4 meat grinder. But now we have a bit of an issue. And you can see that there is a proactivity to Rez's gameplay. That's because he needs to have answered some of the questions. Do we need to have Nork on A?
He can hightail it long, right? So if Blame runs the whole way, goes hard on the left-hand wall, can avoid having footsteps being heard, can just run this the whole way. And if he pips the gap, he starts walking just after he gets past his planter box. Never mind. The rotation's here. If he waits, right, maybe they clear, but it looks like he's gone way too aggressive. Rez should have him here every day of the week.
Yeah. Okay, fair play. Nice try. But NIP, they're up to your tricks. And good damage, though. You can see that is going to cause a little bit of financial concern. Hampus giving him a nice shot in the chat.
Timeout here from Complexity and a needed one. It's only their second, maybe even string two together at this stage of the game. Your T side, you've been kept honest, only one round so far. This is one of only a handful of rounds where it's been close, and it has been Blame F left in clutch situations where it looks less than likely. With the plant, with the damage, they can buy, but what is the approach going to be? As I mentioned, the best thing out of Complexity so far is when they rocked around as a team. JKS found that entry over towards Sewer and they pivoted back.
You called it Spirit-esque, but I mean, it's just a recipe for success on Overpass. The reason that they're doing that so often in their defaults from Spirit is just because this pack mentality seems to be the recipe for success when you've got some really, really well-drilled CT sides who will rotate around the map and often have the majority of their forces in the right place by the time you're going for the commitment. Double AWPs are out. Now, Nork and Rez didn't get to play too much of the double AWP into Mirage, which is how Complexity are 1-0 up here in the quarterfinal.
This is just the default again. JKS babysitting B, rushing connector passive, 3 players working on A pick. So this comes down to the pack, right? In these type of rounds, it comes down to Poison, it comes down to Config and Blame working together to get map territory and look for picks. If they don't find kills, that's when everybody else gets activated. But Nork, he's not going to get pushed back by this default util. Smoke and Molly are not enough to deter him. He's still very forward, and all this info, if they just fall back for a B execute now,
dear.
NIP should have this red.
Yeah, look at Rez. He is ready for the fight, and Poison completely tucked in. That's a military tuck. Plopsky. He is the canary in the coal mine. And look at the angles Rez is holding. Config has his shoes blown off. The hottest kicks in town. And Plopsky with the trigger discipline to really, really twist the knife. It's only JKS now, and he's gone. As is the round, tying it all up. Ninjas in Pyjamas with a 8-1, should they convert this, on their CT side so far. Nice catch from Config, just in positioning alone.
This would be mental. Surely there's no way you can win around like this.
No. Look at the bomb, dude. It's up short. Hampus is rotated in. The door is already blown off, and so Hampus, all too aware.
12-12. All tied up. That happened quick. Blink and you miss it. NIP back in this, and not only back in this, in control of this game. They are looking good to close this one down and take us to the third. You can see top right of your screen, Inferno coming up next, and it looks like we will need it. Plopsy's just gone completely undetected here, not clearing their corners, not being ready for those aggressive maneuvers, right? When you have an individual playing backyard passively, you need to be aware when rotating in. And Rez has done a lot with that secondary AWP. He's going to hold on to it for another ride. Complexity with a partial.
And it's weird to be pointing credit to Nork, but because he did manage to find an angle ahead of their default util, nice shot. Tags up Config. They can't afford to lose this early. They're taking some liberties. Shots have been fired. And if anything, I think that might confirm there's 2 AWPs. They might suspect that was just the same. But that is both double AWPs now leaning here on the A side. Hampus is there as well for the ride, and a nade right onto their face. Bam! And config's gone. More to come. Blame tagged up heavily with this AK, and he continues to make this one look just textbook. 3 frags from Hampus and a 4th on the cards. That rush is there to deny.
Almost a double.
No retrieval for him. A bomb, a death sentence. Crossing in to Rez. He does bait the shot, but they're not going to let this one slip away.
There it is, 13 now for NIP. What a haul this has been on their CT side.
How much do you equate this as well to just gaps and complexities T-side prowess?
They definitely are getting caught off guard by some of the things that, you know, other teams would be ready for, right? Like when you think about, we watched Gambit yesterday with Axel going late back into B. You know, he's always aware of the push-up, what's possible. Here, complexity are being picked off in early stages, and also their map control, it doesn't look that convincing, right? They're not really forcing the respect out of NIP here. When you notice complexity's CT side, a lot of rounds, as soon as Poison was pressured, he was back towards the site. Sure, he reaggressed mid to late, but right now NIP is staying forward, and that information is helping them out. This is really the last-ditch attempt here for complexity.
I mean, the game plan was there, right? In essence, it seemed to make a lot of sense. Nork just confirming that there's nothing toilets enabled to stack on that B site. So perhaps it's going to be something similar.
That's 5 in a row without a plan.
Good point, damn.
There's only 2 in total for complexity. So that's telling you how unlikely it is for them to get site access with that bomb down. If you're not getting the bomb down, you can't play your post plants and your clutch players can't step up.
Don't forget those odds as well. They were really screaming Complexity's name at the start of this half. They're going for a boost now, and that is a freebie. Hampus down and out. JKS wants to try and continue with this pace. He knows there's going to be some rejigging of the CT setups. And oh no! Through the monster tunnel, it could have been a disaster. It still can. ZTR's on the site unchecked. The spray from JKS hasn't confirmed his location. He's just begging for a chance, and it may very well come. Can he knock off the bomb? He can. Rush is found. He's got smokes to hide around. And now a man advantage. They needed this one. This was theirs for the taking, and now it can be denied. They're coming up short. JKS, is he ready? He is! And he pulls it across the line for Cole. 3 quick frags and an AWP for his good measure.
Thank you, Poison. Otherwise, that one's not possible whatsoever. The opening kill, the rush on towards the B bomb site. ZTR looks like a madman waiting for that team flash, but it looks perfect. And then 3 swift kills. Check this one out again.
He knew what he had to do. Mission accomplished. Quick multi-frag out of JKS, and it gives Complexity just a breath. Something to keep the oxygen in the tank.
Yeah, they need to do that again. I'm not sure that quad boost.
It again is exactly what they're trying.
Oh!
Revenge! Served cold, fresh, and ready. In round 27, they try and pull it out twice, and Hampus, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
You very rarely get away with the same play twice in a game, let alone twice consecutively. So very risky scenes there. And if Blame's the guy picking up the AWP, some real problems for complexity in this gun round. Look at Rez getting aggressive.
Oh, yikes.
When they've gone towards A, they've looked absolutely hopeless. Complexity not getting any traction, not getting any control, picked off one at a time. It's looking similar.
I suppose they just had that, or rather, I should maybe stop speaking as a team. That's maybe just Hampus thinking, well, they haven't got any rounds to show for it. That was the only time they've managed it. Config, oh dear.
Trade.
It's an important trade, but a comfortable death. And Nork responding. Staying very dynamic on this one, and the util indicative of presence. Smoke will deny info. Throws out one of his own to keep them on the edge of that smoke. And this, after the flash, is their chance. Rush didn't quite spot him on the initial check. Now 4 versus 2, JKS and Blame. Oh, out! A quick reaction from JKS. Perhaps the plant can happen after all. He's already had 1 high-impact round. This one's just too much to order. NIP disrespecting the rules, not giving you time to set up in the post plant. That's 14, and now Funds, admittedly, really aided by that plant.
Yeah, with the loss bonus where it's at, complexity should be good for another one, or at least in touching distance. But look at the pressure, you're right. As soon as that bomb gets planted, they're forcing on in. JKS low on HP. Blame is trying to get out of the flames, and oh dear, 14 now.
It was one of my favorite things about watching Gambit's Overpass was their willingness to just, in these kind of, mid-round 3v3s where the Ts have sight and are looking to plant, instead of letting that happen, waiting for your rotate to be ready and pushing as a team, they've seen and found great success in just challenging as that player is out of the round. There's a 5-second window where one player is responsible for bodyguard duties. I'm seeing that AWP. It will be recovered by Nork after.
I was getting a bit concerned too.
The smoke is dropped. But Complexity, they are really, really struggling to find anything to dig their teeth into on this T side.
Well, one way here. Trying to work around this.
Ooh, Plopsky is wise to their games. JKS has been sent out on a mission, but Plopsky can just peek into it. Oh, what a reaction! He was unprepared and still finds a crucial 4v4, an equalizing frag. Alrighty then, Rez. Nice work. Works his way up the underpass. Config caught out again. 2 rounds in a row where their sharpest tool sent to an early grave.
Well, he's going to continue to push through connector here. Rez has completely dissected this T side. If he just disappears, if he's just gone, they could be behind all of them, right? Is he flanking A? Is he flanking B? There's a minute on the clock and they're not going to find him.
All was blown off, so like they have no answers. Rez is coming around the world. This is a round-winning play. Like JKS, he's aware.
He needs to be more aware. Oh, this is a possibility now.
Yeah, I mean, he's an aware player. I just don't think he's even going to have considered this option. Yeah. And with the back turned, JKS hunted down. Trigger discipline, crucial. And into the site with a chance, perhaps. Rez's presence is enough to deter them from doing anything fast. Util and a plant. Rez confirmed he's still on that monster side, the rest advancing much more predictably. That smoke might actually help Blame, gives him a bit of a moment to focus on Rez, still spots him out, confirms his location. A gap as well for Blame to work off. Now this 2v4 becomes a 2v2. They're doing it. 14th in elusive round, falls to Poison to come up clutch, and he is going around the world.
Hasn't been heard.
Hasn't been heard. They know he's coming from short, or at least they suspect it, and now they are there to react in time. Nork very quick to the trigger. It could have been an equalizer, but instead, NIP one away from taking Complexity to a third.
Oof. Another game where we might have all the rounds here. 2 more for Complexity to take us to OT. They have it in the tank, the T side. Look, it's only been 2 rounds. 2 rounds is all they've been able to muster. And this one here, Poison, he had no idea. Like, they thought he was short. They were so glued on that short smoke.
Yeah, but Nork's a very quick and capable gamer. Config has been having a bit of a nightmare. We saw 2 of his deaths, 2 AK deaths on this advance in the default. We lost it to Toilets and Long, respectively. What's the call, Blame? Trying to get his troops and his ducks back in a row. And he's ready to go. They want short control early. Rez has been having a great game. And found great impact in that underpass position previously. Russia's been tasked with the responsibility of finding him this time, and with no Molotov. Oh, so loud though, and well, ZTR fully flashed. This is a dream for Complexity. Oh, it's only going to get slightly soured by Nork's frag.
Have to save.
Spotted. They have to keep hold of what they can. Rez doesn't get many easier frags than that.
Well, they should hunt now. Send a couple of bodies after Hampus at least. Check out the money situation over there for NIP. For them, it's only going to be 1,400 going into the next round. You guys do the maths. It's not a lot of cash. Plopsky currently has $0. Get out there and chase. Take away this rifle. Complexity should be sitting pretty for overtime, and Poison's actually starting to have a bit of a look on in here. Hampus can't make footsteps. Will be heard from below, so needs to keep this as quiet as possible, just tucking in towards Divider, holding onto this gun. There's a lot of places to hide on a map like Overpass. It looks like he's going to get away with it. And that's going to be the best weapon they carry through into the next round. He can drop one, but this is not looking great whatsoever. Bomb goes off, Complexity steal another. That's going to be only their 3rd round here.
But it is enough.
So only 1 more to go to OT, and back-to-back overtime games here today. Looking very likely to be on the dock at NIP, take a timeout, and they need to talk through their cash situation. Oh, dearie me, it's going to be Deagles. A drop-down 4 from Hampus is...
This is such a hard-fought battle.
But it feels like they have to go B. Why does all the success so far for Complexity has been over towards this B bomb site? If they go into an A default again, and now that Poison has the AWP, that might be one of the plays they're looking at. But it hasn't worked for them. And if they head back over towards B, this is where the Deagles around the smoke are going to be such an issue. 2 Deagles, 2 M4s, make it 3. ZTR has purchased a Deagle here late. There is a kit on Hampus. Have smokes. 1 molly.
This is the final round of play, ZTR. Why don't you spend that 400 on a double flash and a kit?
Deciding what they want to do here. There it is. He's upgraded to head armor.
Okay, it makes sense, I suppose. He is only against AKs, though. Let's get into it. The boost, pulling it out again. And you can see a little extra hesitance from
maybe
ZTR.
I won't.
Ooh, he changed his mind, and it does keep him alive. Now, the product of going for a boost like that is that you now have to go through, and we've seen it before, the motions of a potential CT push all the way up to playground. Look at this, Poison taking a lot of liberties. Config 2, quick and aggressive, straight to take some of that control back.
And they haven't really pushed too far around the long corner. When they have, we haven't seen much commitment off of it. So Rez is currently tucked in towards that long tree as we get a bit of...
seeing monster aggro?
I think we are. JKS about to be tested here.
Oh, JKS, he's checking it intermittently. It's fading now. Oh! Gone! Immediately deleted by ZTR, the boy who lived.
A.
And it is, you talked about this, A has not worked out well for Complexity and Rez with his info push now on long. Config may not catch him.
They've died in the back so many times, Cole.
I want to see it. Check it. No, he hasn't. Oh, Rez has caught the timing perfectly.
Poison's dead in the back.
Completely. Rez again. What a ninja. Living up to the namesake of the organization. Another frag. He wants to finish this here in regulation. It's only Blame. It's only Config. And despite a harrowing CT affair, it's all onto one man now. Blame to keep Cole's dreams alive. ZTR, oh, caught on a jump. He will finish the job, but the trade is there, and NIP take us to 3. Hard fought, my goodness. Right down to the wire. We finish it. Full 30 rounds of play. And now to separate these two in the quarterfinal, we need a third. Complexity Nip finishes on Inferno.